Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. Um, this throwback, I'm Sean. This is gonna be an interesting show. Okay, before I get started, right? I want to say first of all that in the 9/11 attack and attacks that took place in 9/11. I lost my brother. A lot of us know him, familiar with him. My friend, Terrence Aiken, T. I remember when, I watched the whole situation unfold, but I remember watching it and everything. And then when I found out that T was in there, in the towers and everything, you know what I mean? So it really touched the, it really touched home for me. And ever since that it happened and everything, I had my thoughts, me and the brothers, we talked about it. I remember back 10, 15 years ago, me and Ice talking about it, and we talking about different things and situations like that. But I want to say, hey T, I miss you, bro. I miss you. Word up, catching them alley-oops and all that stuff. Word, we used to play all the time. But so yeah, I wanted to say when I started doing this, excuse me, turn my phone down. I was doing this cause I want answers. I want answers. I had friends that perished in that, and we never got no answers. They sent us on a wild goose chase. This, that, but they never made the case for nothing. What happened? How did it all happen? And everything. And so that's what I did. This show is, I looked into all of the different angles of 9/11, right? So the myths, all this stuff, weapons of mass destruction. Bernie Sanders actually did a town hall meeting on Fox News Network. Yeah, we really, man, if y'all vote for Bernie Sanders, man, he was the man when he was running against Hillary. I give him that. I even thought about supporting him. But when Hillary, because of who Hillary was running with, she was supposed to be in charge, so they could push that global initiative and do pretty much the same thing that Hillary buys into, that Zionist stuff, that I want to run the world type of thing, her and her husband. And so they were supposed to be in the office right now, not Trump. And they had lined everything up so they could capitalize just like George Bush and his family did. Her daughter's son, and her daughter's husband at the time, they was going to go in there, the brother over there in Haiti, they was going to go run roughshod. So when all of that fell apart and everything, it was like she was really the one that was doing all the dirty stuff. If you want to be honest about it, because she was more desperate than Trump. Trump wasn't that desperate. He didn't even expect to win. She was supposed to win. So that's the first thing. So you got to always look at that, man. It's always about the money. Always about the money. So let's look at the money first. The 9/11 memorial, once completed, will cost $60 million a year. $60 million a year to operate. This is not how much it's going to cost. $60 million a year to operate. That's one. So they be talking about, oh, we don't got this money. We don't got this money. $60 million to operate something like that a year in New York City? Or they say it's going to cost too much. They want the federal government to subsidize it because they already subsidized Jewish museums and all of this and all of that. I don't get it. But anyway, so you got $60 million a year. $12 million of that is on private security firms. $12 million just on security for this one building for a year. And it cost, they don't know, but they estimating it's going to cost $700 million or more to complete this this thing. And so now, before I even get into Larry Silverstein, who was the guy that purchased the lease, so he didn't own the land. He purchased all of the buildings, the World Trade Center, and all of that stuff. So he had just signed a 99-year lease, right, for 3 point something billion dollars, right? 90-year lease, right? But look, he only had $15 million. That's all he had. He put $15 million down for this property, right? Which at the time when they did it, they said it was the worst real estate deal in the history of New York City. The worst deal in the history. Because when he purchased them, the buildings was old. New York City wasn't keeping them up. They wasn't maintaining them. And so they had to be renovated. And it was going to cost an astronomical amount of money, right? They had fines, like from city housing inspectors, because they had asbestos and all that. The buildings was trash. They was trash. They looked nice, but they was trash. That's just a fact. They was trash. Full of trash and asbestos and all kinds of the stuff that you wasn't supposed to be having in them buildings, right? So, and I remember when with the lead paint, remember how they had to go around and landlords had to do that, even private landlords. It was expensive. So imagine the Twin Towers and all that, they had to do it over, right? Not even 2 months later, his $15 million turns into $5 billion. $5 billion. Not even $7 billion. I'm sorry, it was $7 billion. Cause he had put the lease, did the insurance and upped the insurance and all of that and everything. And so he got paid for the plane hitting one tower, and then he said that the plane hitting the other tower was 2 separate acts. So because how they worded it, and he went to court and sued them too. He went to court and sued them. His first three or 4 billion wasn't enough. He sued for another 3 or 4 billion, right? So he ended up with $7 billion 2 months after he only had $15 million and was going to go in the hole. He was going in the hole. He was going in the hole. And so before you like, he should be the first guy on the list that you look at. Because of how it turned out, they had the big bad scary wolf over here with the weapons of mass destruction and this and this and that. Even though they had no proof. They had no proof. Saddam didn't even have nothing to do with it. But they still went over there and they did what they did. They didn't show us no evidence. But at the time we wasn't able to, you know what I mean? Because you were seen as unpatriotic if you would complain then, or if you would say anything. Remember, everybody had flags. You had people how they be with the West Indian Day parade flags and Guyanese and all this. You had everybody at that time with a United States flag on their car. Brothers in the hood with flags on their car. So everybody was swallowing the patriotism bullcrap. So that gave them a clean sheet of paper to do all their maneuvers, right? So yeah, so this is this guy, 4.6 in insurance, then sued, then he sued and got 12.3 billion from the airlines and the airport security. So then he turned around and said, oh, you guys, so this guy ended up with like $23 billion, between 20 and $23 billion. The war was so large, they was worried that other businesses wasn't going to be able to get none of the money, you know, for the 9/11 stuff, all of the other businesses and stuff. Here go another little fun fact. I didn't even write this down. I'm gonna just shoot this one out there. So Mayor Giuliani, right, was in Tower 7. I'm gonna get back to Tower 7 later. That didn't get hit by a plane, but fell and how it did, like when you implode something from down there, the building usually crack like this, so it'll fall in and it won't fall out. Building 7, never hit by no plane, cracked like this, fell down. But yeah, we're gonna go back to that. So, but Building 7 was where all of the FBI, the IRS, the DEA, all of they officers was at. And they had all kinds of investigations. You can imagine the investigations they had going on. You know what I mean? I'm going to get back to that. Enron and World, somebody, or some. I'm going to get back to all of the companies, right? So you got the building where all of these 8 government agencies at, right? And Mayor Giuliani's bunker was on the top, or his safe spot was on the top, right? It just got fitted with oxygen and food and all of this stuff, right? Why he leave that building? Why he leave that building? He left that building and it collapses. It collapses. See, it's unquestionable, undeniable that people knew. It's undeniable. After the stuff I done looked at, it's undeniable that people knew, right? Now, for me, in my opinion, it's just the fact of how much they knew and how much they gained. Cause you got another guy, Louis Eisenberg, right? Louis Eisenberg was the head of Department DOT, Department of Transportation, right, for New Jersey and New York City. So he was the actual guy that authorized signing over the contracts to Larry Silverstein, his boy, right? Now, this guy goes from that position to he ended up ambassador to Italy, then on to Goldman and Sachs, another Jewish company, big money and all about their money and crunching numbers and don't care about people who they hurt. But anyway, so he ended up with them, right? And just 7 years later, y'all, just 7 years later, he became one of the 50th richest people in America. You go from a public servant job that maybe you get 150 a year, 250 a year, to just 7 years later, you was a billionaire, one of the 50 richest in America, and you don't think that's him and Larry Simpson, both of them, went up. With Dick Cheney too, went up. I'm gonna get back to all of that, right? So, yeah, because here you go. The Twin Tower was riddled with asbestos, fireproofing, which was illegal. They were under court order issued in January of 2001 to remove it, which was going to cost billions. New York had been trying to find a way to demolish the towers for years because they knew it was, and they wanted something new. They knew they put it up, they got the asbestos in there and all that, so it looked good, but it was a mess, right? So, because I remember going over there, like, when I would play hooky, or I'm in the city riding around and I end up over there, you know, the train, you know, you take the train and then you had the escalator to go up into there. Man, that building was trash, man. I never went in that building. That building was trash. Building was trash. And I want everybody to know, I appreciate, and like I said, my brother passed away in there. So this is not nothing about none of the lives that was lost. I was in the war, so I understand casualties. So this is not nothing about that. This is just about, yo, I feel that we need answers. You know, as a veteran that did what I was told, didn't, even when I was pulling guard duty on oil wells, I was out there. I wasn't guarding people. I was at war, y'all. And just like this red flag, this red umbrellas right there, that's how close the oil wells was to me burning. Fire shooting up in the air like this. I was pulling guard duty on that. That's about money. That ain't nothing to do about freedom and this and this and that. That was all about money. And this was the father Bush going in. This ain't even the son going in. So the son they was doing the same moves. And I'm gonna show you some of the same moves they did. How when the war, when I was over there, and we was chasing the Republican Guard around the desert, trying to get them, squash them, right? So we was closing in on them. So they took Saddam Hussein, this is a fact, they took Saddam Hussein in a jet and flew him to Russia. Not lying. They flew Saddam Hussein to Russia. We fought it out. And then when they was ready to sign a peace treaty agreement, they flew Saddam Hussein back in. I was part of the security for my tank battalion or my crew. We was part of the security, different people around when the plane came in, so we had protection, right? That's the first. Now, fast forward. They did the same thing with Osama bin Laden. It was like they heard that Osama bin Laden no-fly zone over there, and Osama family was the only one that was traveling or whatever. I'm telling you, man. Saddam Hussein was trained over here in the United States. Muammar Gaddafi was trained over here in the United States. Bin Laden was trained over here in the United States. All of these people get trained over here in the United States and then go abroad, and then it's when you don't listen to the United States and doing what they want you to do. That's when they turn you into a terrorist. I'm telling you, it's a fact. Even Larry Sis said it was a non-starter to start removal of asbestos. The guy that bought the building was like, yeah, that's a non-starter. We can't start that. It's going to cost us too much money. So they looking around, and desperate businessmen do desperate things. That's what this country has showed us. Word up. And just in time, the building is destroyed. Instead of paying off or losing money in the end, you turn into profit. They didn't even look at them. The media sold a BS of weapons of mass destruction that never existed. They never found not one chemical nothing over there. Not one. Not one. Silverstein got his contract from Port Authority. He brought the entire trades, 100-year lease, only put 15 million, and then his partners. So it wasn't just him. It was him and his partners. They scraped up $100 million. They didn't tell how many partners it was, because they be, you know what I mean? I didn't deep to see who the partners was. If the trade had not been demolished, would have gone down as the worst real estate risk. And yep, he even doubled down on insurance. Yep. Even he spent the whole summer that year negotiating the insurance. Look it up. Look it up. He did the whole thing. Just a quick look. He turned $5 billion. This guy's not a look. If this guy's not a suspect, you know I'll be right. You know I'll be doing. Jack McCoy law order would have had dude in jail in an hour. Word, he'd have been in jail in an hour. Jack and Briscoe and them, they'd have been in jail. But, you know, he Jew, just like the billionaire Epstein and stuff, flying around in his plane, being a pervert, sleeping with all underage age girls and stuff, and he gets sweetheart deals and even get the DAs and all of them to go and argue for him to stay free and not be monitored. That's how I go down. Oh, and in his negotiation with the insurance, so you got to write this stuff down, because I'll be forgetting it and be like, I could have. He negotiated to be paid in cash beforehand. So that summer, while his is falling apart and he got to pay all his money, he over here at the table trying to get the insurance paperwork right and working out how he going to get paid if the building, and he actually worked into it. Terrorism, acts of terrorism. If the buildings are destroyed by acts of terrorism, he get all the money and he get the right to rebuild. Now here's the question I ask. If he got the right to rebuild and he got all of that money, he got enough money in that 1 year to pay for the entire year, 100 years of the contract, why are we paying for anything? Why is he not building it? He got all the money. He just get to keep the money, and then we got to pay for the building, and then pay for the running of it and keeping it. Come on, man. Y'all got to do the math, man. Y'all gotta do the math. That's why they don't report stuff together. That's why they give you one part of the pork, and that's just like a little leg of the chicken. That ain't the whole chicken. They cut the chicken up and to 20 pieces and give you one piece at a time. Cause they know if they give you the whole chicken and let you put it together, you're gonna see a different picture. Word. He never was even interviewed by the FBI much. Never even, yeah. Dancing Israelis. As dancing Israelis. I'm gonna come back to them. The dancing Israelis. Okay, here you go. The dancing Israelis. These was 5 Jewish men spotted in a white van shortly after 8:46 a.m. Then again at 3:31 p.m. Laughing, celebrating, taking pictures, right? They was in a white Chevy van. They was stopped in New Jersey. It was Sylvan Kurtzberg, Paul, his brother, Yaron Schimmel, Odid, Elner, Omar Marmari, right? So the FBI got there, and when they got there, when they stopped these guys, they said, "Oh, we are not your problem. Your problem is just with the Palestinians," right? So, but they got them. They took them in. They in a van. They got one guy got $4,700 stuffed in his sock. They got all, and then they see pictures of these guys set. They had their camera set up, y'all, pointing at the World Trade Center at 8 a.m. They was over there at 8 a.m. They was set up before the towers fell. They was set up. And after the towers, I tried to find the pictures. They deleted them. Somebody out there find them pictures. Let me see. I want to see them. The dancing Israelis, they supposedly was taking pictures, lighting a cigarette in front of with the burning, falling in the back, burning, they laughing and celebrating and all that, right? So they get them in there and they asked them some questions. They lied to the feds about where they were at that morning. That's a crime right there, right? Ask Marion Jones. Remember the Olympic runner? She lied to them about taking steroids, even though she putting it in her body. She wasn't selling it. She was using it for herself. They still put her in jail because she lied. Now let's back to them. They had plane tickets to depart. All 5 of them had plane tickets to depart to different places around the globe. So once they got to the airport, they was going. The FBI confirmed the men had ties to the Israeli intelligence, Mossad, and everything. And Mossad has a thing known as, what's this flag? Something flag. I wrote it down back here. It's something flag, black flag mission, or I'm gonna find it. But anyway, they got this, you know what I'm saying? They got these things where they go to other governments and they do things and make the Israelis or Palestinians look like they did it and all that, bombings and all that in Paris. Check it out. And then they blame it on the Palestinians or terrorists, and so that way they could turn people against them. That's how they do it. You know what I mean? If you don't believe us, watch. You'll see. They're going to blow you up one day too. And then they mess around and be the one to blow you up and say they did. All right? So they had planned. Okay, the FBI confirmed that they was down with Mossad. After returning to Israel, Elner claimed on national TV that they had been sent there to document the event. This is what happened to the 5 guys, right? They was transferred into federal custody, held for 71 days, and then deported back to Israel. That's it. That's it. The moving company owner that they say they were working for, Urban Moving Company, right? Fed seized the computers, etc., including etc. Dominic Sutter, owner, was down, but when they went back to question him, he went back to Israel. Never be seen again. No extradite. And you notice how if it was another country or African country or Colombia, they went in there and got Nicaragua, they went in there and got your boy Noriega. They went and snatched Noriega planes. See? They ain't doing that to Israel though. Gotta go back over there and some. We need questions. We got questions we need answered. You know what I'm saying? It look like, and they can't say that. And I was telling somebody, right? I was saying, yo, I'm the right guy for this. Because you can't say I'm unpatriotic. You can't say that I hate United States of America. I might don't love it, but I don't hate it. You know what I mean? But you can't say none of that to me. I'm a decorated war veteran, honorably discharged. Word. I did what I was supposed to do. I fought even if I didn't agree with it. I did what I had to do. So I deserve answers. I deserve answers. The American public deserve answers. Now, back to that, right? So, they took the pictures laughing. Justice Department, look, this is when you know it's fishy. The Justice Department destroyed in 2014 all of the copies of the pictures they had of these guys. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? They still got pictures from Kennedy's assassination. Why you destroyed them? I'm telling you, I just gotta ask questions. So in the end, the story they tried to spin was that this Israeli 5 was not working with the terrorists, but following the terrorists, and they knew they was gonna do something, so they was just here to watch but not help. That's what they said. So they was trying to say they were just here to spy on the real terrorists. That's what they said. Oh, I wrote this. So they got a country western song called Old Town Road or Old Town or whatever. Dave East mad about it. I salute the effort, but for real, we got way bigger issues than that in rap. I mean, we had the rapping dude, da ha, da ha, ha. That shit was a gimmick. Nobody ain't gonna get away with no rapping cowboy music consistently. Maybe once in a blue, but so me seeing him say that, I was like, yo, when y'all gonna take rap back, man? When y'all gonna take rap back? Seriously. And listen to what I'm saying. When y'all gonna take rap back they got all the control. They shouldn't be all the execs. They shouldn't be in the offices giving all. They shouldn't be controlling it where they got people out here looking like buffoons and morons. You got the one guy, the little with the red hair. So I seen him on his knees with a dress on, a wedding gown and wedding dress on, and he got some chick with a rifle, and he got the barrel in his mouth. I'm like, come on, man. That's artistic. He's got no skills no more. Y'all need to do something, man. Y'all need to do something. Cause I know that what I expected and thought rap would be when I was out there dancing on the block parties with sick. This us. We finally got our music for us, man. Word. And then it's what it is now. You got a lot more to complain about than a rapping cowboy song. Word. This is like, yeah, this is look, this is not me accusing anybody. I'm not saying Larry Silverstein and you need to get them guys. You need to get them old guys in there and ask some questions for these guys die. Word. I just want questions. I want the money explained. Word. Word. Seize the money like you do brothers. Yeah, help all, RICO laws in the projects. Y'all be done made sure I took the low $100,000. Get them billions. Go after them billions. Rich guys, rich Jewish guys never go to jail. That's just a fact. They don't go. Unless you Bernie Madoff and it's nothing to do but put you in jail. There's nothing they can do. They have way too much money. They have way too many lobbyists in Washington, and they put pressure on people to cave into their views. And I know how they do think and talk. I know how they do. They hit you with the sympathy, and if they don't hit you with the if you don't go for the sympathy or the sympathetic thing or whatever, then they gonna turn to hit you with the aggression. Then they gonna term you a some kind of racist, or you anti-Semitic, and then that's how they fight all the time. That's how they fight. Soon as you give them something they don't like, oh, you're like that. Oh, you think like that. Oh, you're anti-Semitic. Okay, here's another. Building 7. It was only 2 planes hit in New York City, right? One plane crashed out there in PA somewhere. Out of the 2 planes that hit in New York City, they hit the 2 trade buildings, Tower 1, Tower 2. How did Building 7 fall? How Building 7 was never hit. Now, in this one, it didn't fall till 9 o'clock that night. It fell at 9 p.m. And they knew it was up, but hold on. So now you got the paperwork in there. Remember I tell you all of the buildings, FBI, DOD, IRS, which had the financial paperwork on Enron, the Secret Service, the SEC that had more stocks fraud records on Enron. So, okay, let's get into Enron. Enron was a company, and y'all remember, Enron was a company where an investment company and all of that, and people had millions. Like you had one person that had 1.7 million in there, something like that. On paper. On computer it said 1.7 million. What was actually in there wasn't that. 100,000 or something like that. Less than that. So Enron was taking everybody's money, making them think they had all that money in their accounts, and they was taking their money and they was using it and gambling it up and investing it and all that and losing it. But see, here's the thing with investing it, because money is just in a computer. So when you invest the money Enron with your boy over here at this security company or this one or that one, and you lose money, all it is your money go lose from here and go to them. It ain't going space nowhere. I lost the money here, Enron, but I gave it to my buddy here, and I gave it to my buddy here, and I gave it to my buddy here, right? Now, Arthur Anderson, right? See, now I'm going to tell you. Arthur Anderson was the accounting company that was supposed to be watching everybody's money. Enron told them, yo, ignore this shit, man. Tell them everything is good. Right? They had an accounting error of $7 billion. How you? And so they was all gonna go to jail. Some of the Enron guys ended up going to jail later, but Enron and then WorldCom, which was MCI, WorldCom, MCI, that crooked companies that didn't give much service or hyped us up. We bought into it. We gave them all our money and they folded, right? And so all of the paperwork for these companies, about 3,000 or 4,000 cases, all with white businessmen, white politicians, execs and all that, destroyed when Building 7 collapsed. Yep. So they said they even, I saw newspaper articles, all of the big dogs that got off after it, they wasn't going to be able to investigate like they thought they was going to be able to investigate because of the 9/11 attacks. And we all supposed to be focusing on over there, because remember they sent firefighters, they had the firefighters from all over, police, everybody. They was all focused on that, and then they was focused on going over there and starting a war, bullying Saddam and shit. So the Enron scandal, right? You go, well, how does Enron tie into it, Sherm? What are you talking about? Enron ties into it because Enron is a Texas company. Remember, Governor Bush was Texas governor. So you know he got people in Enron. This is his hometown. It's a big company in his hometown. Oil is the thing. Halliburton, his boy Dick Cheney. So that's why Enron was a Texas company. They was playing with people money and all this, and then they donated funds. That's what it is. It's about campaign contributions. It ain't even it's campaign contributions. That's what it is. They did it for a year. Stocks went from $90 a share to under $1 a share. You know how big. So if you got 9 million in there, something like that, man, your joint gonna go down to under $1 million. Maybe yeah, son, that's crazy. So people, and it was affected white people, right? Mostly white people, because that's who had the millions. So now, right, after that Enron thing, that's when they started with the 401ks at more jobs and thrift savers programs at more jobs and all that. Know why? Because they needed more money in there. Because they done broke them. They was breaking people in the 80s and the 90s. It was breaking them. So they needed more money. So that's why in the early 2000s, it was a lot more accessible now with that stuff. So they can have more money to play with. I told you how even with Cash App, if you take your money right now, they charge you a fee, because if you leave it in overnight or over the weekend, they gonna play with your money. They gonna play with it. Yeah, because if not for 911, the biggest story still would have been Enron. But that all got pushed to the side and all of that type of stuff. All of that. They adjusted laws out there, and then they adjusted and that was a funny thing. All of the laws got adjusted after that. Sophia Stewart wrote The Matrix. I had to get her name right. Sophia Stewart wrote The Matrix, Terminator, and it was another one she wrote too. And she won a lawsuit and everything against the Wachowski brothers. They stole her joint, and now they are the Wachowski sisters. Ex-Black Panther Party Mumbia. I'm going back to the 9/11. I ain't finished. I just gave y'all the one. I ain't give y'all all of it. Ex-Black Panther member Mumia Abu Jamal has been locked up since 1981 for the shooting of police officer Daniel Faulkner. Was sentenced to death. Then in 2001 it was reduced to life. Now he gets a new trial. He published a book, Live from Death Row, in 1996. And this was the thought I had after that. Now, if I was a Black Panther member and I ended up in jail, and I felt like my people forgot me, my friend, I'm a Panther now, but my friends was out here getting shot and killed, and I was doing it for my peoples. I go to jail and my peoples forgot about me. That'd be tough. That'd be real tough, man. That'd be tough. Lord, I wrote that down. People, I was taking a risk, fighting. You know, my friends dying, and they forgot me while I was in jail. Man. And then I was like, but that's how we do the past. We always be like, fuck the past. Fuck the past. Like, we hate it, because everything I got going on now is better. Or let's talk about now, etc. We don't care nothing about heritage, ancestors. That's how we get down. That's how they make us weak, cut us from our roots. Our roots is our heritage and our ancestors. Cut a tree, a branch, or whatever from its roots, it ain't nothing, gonna die. Kim Fox, the sister out there, attorney out there in Chicago, with Jesse Smollett and all that. And so she had to resign today. She had to resign because one, she shouldn't have did that. She shouldn't have did that, because you know you a black person looking out for another black person, and white people ain't involved, they coming for you. That's the first thing. You know they coming for you. You should have known that they was gonna come for you. So now I'm watching. I want to see if they going, because if it was a straight black man that went into the sister life, or the sister was trying to help out and the sister ended up losing her job and getting fired, you know all of the things that get said for that situation right there. No good ass black man ain't shit. Get the always bringing a black woman down and whoop 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 whoop. Do that work for gay people too? Do that work for the gay black men too? Or just straight black men? Cause I'm like this. I'm like, he sabotaged his sister's career with his dumb shit. You out here playing and all this and all that, and you trying to get more money, and the sister lost her job. I'm sure she gonna get another job. She going straight to Hollywood now because she helped old boy out. So I ain't feeling too sorry for her, you know, right now, because they gonna help her out. She gonna be good. But still in all, that was a straight black man. They be lining up the stereotypes right now because it's him, and you can't never criticize. You can't never criticize a gay person. You can't criticize them. Even when they do dumb shit, you can't criticize them. Even when they hurt people, you can't criticize them because they gay. They special. And see, so y'all will know. See, the fact is, dumb shit is dumb shit. Right? That's just a fact. Dumb shit is dumb shit. Whether it's a gay, straight, person that want whatever. It don't matter. Dumb shit is dumb shit. Alright, so now, here's one I've been wanting to do too. I talked about the Caucasus Mountains and all of that and blah, 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 blah. So y'all understand, right? Caveman equals Caucasus Mountain liver. Caveman is Caucasus Mountain. So they say, oh, the Caucasus Mountain don't exist. The caveman is the Caucasus Mountain. Alright? So now, and the caveman is the Neanderthal man. Alright? Now, got me? Okay. So they are connected. They don't, that's why they always keep the terms separate. So you think like they was different 3 different times, and no. They was all the same thing. Caucasus Mountains had caves where the caveman was, and the caveman was the Neanderthal man that had to learn how to evolve and come from up there in the mountains. Period. That's the way it was, right? Now, I got scientists here, so y'all know it ain't just me. This guy is Savant, S-V-A-N-T-E, Pablo, P-A-A-B-O, with the 2 little dots over both his A's. He got 2 A's in the middle, right? Neanderthal man was, he studies genomes, right? Swedish and Estonian. Neanderthal first skeletons was discovered in Germany in 1856. See, that's why Hitler knew. That's why he was trying to come up with a pure breed, and thought that because if he could get the pure breed of the white Aryan man was going to be better than the pure breed of the African. Jesse Owens crushed that in the Olympics that year. He crushed that with that. But anyway, I digress. So now, and this guy, his father won a Nobel Prize, and his mom is a chemist. So he's not a quack, right? Now, so Neanderthals became extinct about 30,000 years ago, you know, right? Now, he said chimps can't speak, can't make fire, weapons, none of that. So what you see in the Planet of the Apes, that's another story, right? There's 24,000 genes in humans, right? Chimps are identically, and even mice are genetically up to 90% similar to us. We all energy. They energy, we energy, right? Now, mummies are 2,000 to 5,000 years old. I'm breaking all this down for y'all so y'all can see, one, where we come from, and like certain things we don't have in us. Like I was talking to my boy, I was talking to brother Tank, and I was saying that it's real interesting how here in America, America is built off war. America is built off war. America is built off putting a foot on somebody back to come up. Slavery, war, whatever it is, taking oil, whatever the case, land from the Indians. That's how they do. And so I was just saying, like, certain things, man, we just don't have it in our nature to be as wicked as them. I mean, we can get when we mad and all this, but they could get wicked over money, and they get wicked. They could do all drop bombs, Hiroshima, and all that stuff. They could do a lot of stuff that I just I just couldn't. I couldn't live with killing nobody, let alone dropping a bomb on a city or some shit like that. I couldn't. Flying, letting, if I didn't help the 9/11 people, you know, just being quiet and letting it happen and sitting back and watching it happen so I could make money off of it. I could never live with myself. Could never live with that with myself. So, right? So, back to this. Then in 1991, a well-preserved body was found in a glacier in Tyrol. It was 5,300 years old. But even that DNA, they realized that this body didn't have the genes to process the milk, right? Now, let's go back to the caves. Up there in the caves, they had to stay up there because their system, they couldn't reproduce as much, like maybe 1 in 1,000 could produce. You see, they would still eat. They was lactose intolerant. They couldn't process. Not even lactose intolerant. That's not what they calling it. They saying they didn't have the gene in them to process milk. So that's all babies drink is milk. So they couldn't survive. So they had to mix with the Moors. See. They had to mix with the Moors. That was the only way they was going to be able to survive. They couldn't survive without the gene to help them process milk. Was it going to survive? All right, let's keep going. That's where the lactose intolerant BS started. Okay. He was known as the father of this study and all of this type of stuff. In May 2010, he published a 174-page report, 2 thoughts. Now, these are the 2 thoughts, right? You got the thought that all life originated in Africa, and then they spread out. Polynethesis. Went to Europe, Asia, Polynesis, and all this, right? That's the one. Then the other thought is proto-hominins, where everybody was already there and all that. So he dispelled that, right? He dispelled that. He said that actually life began in Africa 1.6 million years ago. 1.6 million years ago, right? Modern day humans, 1.8 years ago. It is known that the first hominin to leave Africa, Homo erectus, reached China by 1.8 million years ago. Exactly. So we left from Africa, and we went to Asia and Europe and all that, right? So the beginning, everybody was darker skin. Everybody was darker skin. Yeah, climate change and all this and all of that. That's why, and it's funny, why do so many people be hating us? You know what I mean? You'll see an Asian woman looking at her like she hate me. An Asian man looking at me like he hate me unless I'm giving him my money. Then he's smiling at me and all that. They see you outside, they don't speak to you. You think you like shit. Russian people, they don't want to speak to you because they know we the essence. That's why they all gotta conspire and keep us down, not knowing who our true essence is and shit. They know, right? They know. Now, Europeans, Asians, but not Africans, all have either 1.5 to 2.7 Neanderthal DNA in them. All except Africans. Yeah. Hold on to that one. Here go one. And I'm going back to this because she was talking about 9/11 and got fired just for talking about 9/11. I still ain't sold on Kamala Harris. I don't care what y'all say. Joy Carrega, Karega. I looked up to on Facebook. Black sister in Ohio working for Oberlin University got fired at work for posting on her Facebook page. You know, I read the story that ISIS was really U.S. Israel intelligence personnel. She was a professor at the school. ISIS was really Israel and U.S. intelligence personnel. They, not terrorists, planned the attacks in Paris at Charlie Hebdo. Hebdo was I think it was a newspaper they blew up out there in France, and then they was able to do kind of like with the 9/11 stuff. They started doing some locking down over there, the Muslims and all that. Israel had down Malaysia Airlines flight number 17 over Ukraine. She voiced support for the Nation of Islam leader Minister Farrakhan, and that Zionists and Israeli Jews were behind 9/11 attacks. That's how I ended up running into her, because she posted that the Zionists and Israel Jews was behind 9/11 attacks. Now, the next show I'm gonna get into Zionists, because I can't go into Zionists in this show. That's gonna be too long. The next show I'm gonna get into Zionists, but Hillary and Bill Clinton believe in the Zionist way of leading, in the Zion way of the world heading that way. So, and that's why I'm gonna get into that next, right? Because it all ties in. It all ties in, right? Because somebody was saying that when Bush and his brothers and the father and all of them was in the White House, they was in everything. They was all over. They was in every Wall Street, here, there, in the oil company, into this. They was doing everything trying to squeeze money. And that's what they do. That's what they do. You get in there and look at Trump. All his kids was in the White House. That's what they do. And then you can't tell me that everybody out there is living legal. No, they not. It's not, they ain't taking no bribes and no payoffs and no that's a lie. Okay. Yeah, so losing. Yeah, so they fired her. But she's suing them for $855,000. That's how I told you, get a lawyer. Argue and get mad. Or get you a lawyer. Louis Eisenberg, yeah, okay. So he was chairman of Port Authority of New York, New Jersey. He authorized the transfer the leases to Larry, his boy, and then Frank Lowry, just weeks before 9/11. I was reading on Frank Lowry actually got knighted in Britain. A Jewish guy got knighted in Brooklyn. The latter was appointed. He was appointed. We talking about Larry Silverstein. So you go from the Port Authority to being appointed right after that chairman of the Republican National Committee under Donald Trump. On October, he was named United States Ambassador to Italy. Goldman Sachs partner from 2008. Just 7 years later, America's 50th richest people. He needs to be investigated. Frank Lai needs to be investigated too. So here go. I wrote this down too. So my job in the Army was a tank mechanic, right? So my job, so when you go through training and all that, yeah, I was on the front line with the tankers and seeing bombs blow up and all that good shit, and been in sticky situations, took prisoners, all that, right? That's not what I want to go into. When I was training in tank school though, you everything you did was in a manual. So you would get a manual that might be this thick, and say to fix one problem, you might have 4 or 5 manuals this thick, and you'll have to basically go read this one manual up to this page to tell you what to do, and then for the next step you got to go to another book and find it in that other book, and then continue what you're doing to break the tank down properly. You had to jump back and forth from book to book and make sure you're on the right page and following the procedures, right? So I say all that to say I'm good at investigating and finding shit. That's why I said that. I'm good at, so once I started, looking at this, I'm looking at 9/11, then I look at Lavish Silvestri, then I look at this guy, then I see Enron, then I see this, then I see this security company, then I see Arthur Andrews, then I see this, then I see this government, and it started tying in. But you got like this is a fact. Some brains can't think like that. Some brains don't work like that. Like everybody brain don't work. Like I could jump around like that and process shit and still keep all of these thoughts of jumping around straight in my head. And what I got from after I say all that, after this 9/11 thing right here, somebody need to be in jail. Somebody need to be investigated. People in the government. We need to look at that. We need to look at that. Oh, here was another one. The Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, was also in New York City visiting that day. 9/11. He was actually here too. So you got Jewish people here. You got Jewish guys running around the city in trucks looking like they here to do damage and not take pictures. You got this guy here, and then here was another fact that happened. So right before and right after this, the United States had to go around and get all of the Israeli Mossad spies, just like they show on NCIS, and they showing how that Mossad person, I forget the Mossad chick, she was Mossad and they didn't know it or whatever. They had Mossad. Hey, that's how they get it off TV. I mean, because they ain't smart, so they look at real life and they go, oh shit, I could use a little bit of this truth right here. Excuse me. So they had Mossad agents. It had infiltrated all aspects of the United States government. DEA, FBI, all of that. They had to arrest them and pull them out of there. They got them out of there. Sent them home. Yeah. Telling you. Israel knew about it. Now, if Israel knew about it, definitely Israeli Jewish businessmen knew about it too. You know what I mean? Because when Netanyahu here visiting and all that, who we stand with? Silvestri and them, the big dogs, the millionaires. So now, push Israel and them off the table. They definitely knew something about it. Somebody they knew about it. That's one. So, but then who on the American government side knew? Who helped them out? Who helped them out? Somebody had to know. Somebody had to know. Roger Silverstein, right? Whatever, was the director. Check this out. He was actually the director for leasing the World Trade 7, building number 7. Before the towers. So he signed over paperwork and everything too to his boys. Now, so you go, okay, Sherm, you still ain't make the connection. You got the business connection and you got the businessman, but you ain't necessarily yet made the government connection to it yet, right? Okay. Good, I'm right here on time. Newt Gingrich. Remember Newt Gingrich? Newt Gingrich and Lava Silvestri ended up working together. Now, they ended up working together because he gave Newt Gingrich's beauty contestant wife a job as vice president of business development, and then said it wasn't a payoff. And so this was for a company named or IEDC. IDEC, which is a hawkish arm of pro-Israeli lobbying again. So Gingrich, who was a Speaker of the House, big Republican dog. I think they was even talking about making Gingrich at one time vice president or whatever, or running for vice president or some shit. So, but anyway, so that's where the connection at. So once he get down with Silvestri, they start singing that, singing the same stuff that he's saying. Because he's supporting you now. He's taking care of your wife now. So everything, his agenda, you have to follow his agenda now. That's how the link got into the politics. And so from there, you got one of George W. 911 connections is via the Silverstein's hiring of Securicom. Securicom rebranded after the 9/11 tax and they went bankrupt, rebranded to StratSec, right? They was for management of the electronic security systems for the World Trade System, right? So the president's brother, Marvin Bush, was on the board of directors, and his cousin Worth Walker, even cousin Worth got some money. Cousin Worth Walker III was the CEO of Securicom, was also responsible for security of United Airlines Incorporated and the Dulles International Airport at the time. See how it's all lining up now, right? You see it, right? Oh, so just like the Reverend, remember the Dr. Martin Luther, and I came out and I stepped to the side so they could shoot, and they shot that guy, right? So just like this guy, right? He said slipped it up, which is if you true but Larry Silverstein was on a PBS special called America Rebuilds, right? And he said, this is what he said. I remember getting a call from the fire department commander, him telling me that they were not going to be sure, they were not sure if they were going to be able to contain the fire. And I said, we've had such a terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is just pull it. And they made the decision to pull it, and we watched the building collapse. Pull it is a demolition term. Remember I said earlier how building 7 that never was hit by a plane? When you blow a building and you put all of the charges at the bottom, and when you blow it, the building collapses in. You never see the building fall sideways or like this. When they demolish a building on purpose, it always collapses in and it turns to dust. That's how the towers look. But building 7 that never was even hit by a plane, it cracked like this right here at the top in the roof and fell straight down like that, right? Now, and a lot of articles that I was trying to find, they deleted them. They did New Yorker article on this and that, deleted. This speculating that, deleted. Page can't no longer be found. Try to go around and find it other ways, So that's how you know. Securicom, right? Founded in 1987, turned public in 1997, and was delisted in 2002, right after 9/11. So they got their stuff together, got lined up, got their ducks in a row, so they was able to profit from the 9/11 situation. So yeah, this is how the Washington Spectre. The Washington Spectre, the title was in 2005, Family Business at the Watergate. talks of connectors between Bush family with political, sensitive financial things. Dads and sons was in everything all over this. Bush was over in the desert. They already had companies and stuff over in the desert before Halliburton even got there. The investment company, one of them was called Kuwait America. It was backed and controlled by StratSec. They had meetings. Yo, I'm telling you, man, it was just so crazy. Like, how nobody didn't go to jail. They had meetings. This is a new company, the Kuwait America. They just started. And they had meetings from 99 to 2001. That's it. The board shareholders of 3 companies, investment firms, was all connected. They all went bankrupt, even though we know they just changed their names and rebranded it and kept the money, and that's what they did. Halliburton, right? People always talk about Halliburton had been around for a while and was worth $34 million. They was doing military contracts before that, right? They was 73rd on the list. So they got a list of companies that the government just giving money to. Companies. It's corporate welfare. That's the corporate welfare they talking about. It ain't them businessmen like Trump and all them. It's these heads that got these defense contracts. Because defense money is endless. We all know that, right? But anyway, so 34 million, but after the Iraq war ended, or by the end of it, they was worth $39 billion. 39 billion. Dick Cheney himself was worth between and this is when you know it's crazy. They said between 30 million and 100 million. That's the biggest the discrepancy. Y'all don't know it. That's a big discrepancy. And he was CEO of Halliburton from 1996 to August of 2000, right? A year before 9/11. So he helped establish them, helped them get their stuff, they foot in the door, helped them move up in the chain and get recognized. Then he went to be vice president. Then this joint happened less than a couple of months later. Boom. His company, his former company back over there, he said, oh, it's no conflict of interest because I got out of that company last year. But still ended up making money off of it. I hope all of y'all care about the Mueller report about as much as I do. That Mueller report is a wild goose chase. A wild goose chase. A wild goose chase. It's a circus show. And it gave me a thought, man. Yo, we gotta start. We can't be worrying about the shit they worrying about. Cause they think different than us. So and I say that to say, like, I could care less about that Russian shit now. Y'all not gonna kick them out if y'all. What is it gonna prove? We wasting money on that. What is it gonna prove? Even if you prove something, what is it gonna prove? Nothing. They're not gonna do nothing. They just got something to give us, something sensational that we need to start stamping. Yo, that's white news. That's white news. You know what I mean? Word. Stuff that we don't even need to focus on. Wait till the dust settles. And then we see what happens. This the way to start. This the way to start finding out who you're real. I'm recording, Ma. So I'm recording. I'm recording. Golly.